What's going on, guys? So in this video, I'm going to be looking at the 2008 NFL Draft, going through the busts and stuff. But first of all, I want to give a shout out to the guy I'm playing. His name is Jaden Blue 13. His YouTube channel will be in the description. Go subscribe to him. Tell him I sent you. He's a good up and coming YouTuber. He needs some oh, sorry, I lost my voice. He needs some polishing up, but you know, the guy's got potential. He's pretty good at Madden, as you'll see. Definitely, you're going to want to watch this whole game. It's very, very exciting, all the way down to the finish. So here, we're going to be looking at 2008, okay? 2008 had some interesting, I initially, the first I noticed was the running back situation in 2008, okay? So, with the fourth pick, the Raiders selected Darren McFadden, okay? Let's look at who they passed up on. So, Darren McFadden, let me just backtrack. Darren McFadden, Jonathan Stewart, who else? Felix Jones and Rashad Mendenhall. Remember those four names, okay? And now think Chris Johnson, Matt Forte, Ray Rice, and Jamal Charles. And now you know those four names. Would you be surprised if I said the first four were all drafted before the second four? Because that is the case in the 2010 draft. Chris Johnson was the first, and he was taken the pick after Rashad Mendenhall. Chris Johnson had a career, man. That guy had a stud career. Also, Jamal Charles, he's still a beast. So that's the running back situation. That's the first thing I noticed about this draft. The second thing I noticed, the receivers were very poorly taken. The first receiver drafted in 2010 was the 33rd pick by the St. Louis Rams, and they took a shot on Donnie Avery. Okay? 3 picks later, Jordy Nelson came off the board. 20 picks later, Deshaun Jackson came off the board. Oh my, there's so many good receivers in this draft. If you look back, not all of them are Pro Bowl. I'm just looking at the Pro Bowl ones, but there's a lot of good receivers that are way better. And I mean way better than Donnie Avery. So that's the receiver situation. What else? What about cornerback? Brandon Flowers was drafted with the 35th overall pick. Antoine Casson was drafted. I probably said Casson wrong. People are going to get mad at me for that. I honestly don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not going to pretend I do. Was drafted with the 27th pick. Let's look at, and I know Kaysen, he's had a decent career, but okay, he has 381 tackles, 60 interceptions. Oh, that's not bad at all. 459 tackles, 20 interceptions. So obviously Flowers is a better pick, but that's not a big thing. Casson, that's probably not a bad pick. They didn't make a terrible decision. Okay, what about quarterbacks? Matty Ice was drafted 3rd. That's not bad. That's pretty accurate to what it would look like. Flacco was drafted 18th. Who was drafted in front of Flacco? Guster Chirlios. 115 game played, 113 starts. He's currently on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, that's not bad, I guess. And DRC. Let's talk about DRC. Leotis McKelvin. Okay. McKelvin's a good corner. I liked him when he played on the Bills. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie was drafted. How many picks behind Leotis McKelvin? 5 picks behind Leotis McKelvin. Now that ain't right. DRC's an absolute stud. That's one of the best corners in the league. And he was drafted there. You got to question that. Okay, Derek Harvey for the Jaguars. Look at this guy. Currently he was cut in 2012 on the practice squad. Oh, this is a bust. Holy, get the bust alerts going. So he was drafted 8th. Let's look at what DNs were drafted after him. Ooh, I'm not seeing any good DNs in this draft. Oh, Calais Campbell was drafted 50th. Calais Campbell is a Pro Bowler and a stud. Who else? There's quite a few good DNs. So that was a reach. That was a reach by the Jaguars. The poor Jaguars could have had Gerard Mayo, Ryan Clady, Jonathan Stewart, Brandon Albert, DRC, Aqib Talib. Oh yeah, McKelvin was drafted in front of Talib. These front offices, man, it's hard to see, but come on. That's a tough mistake to make. Okay, who else is in here? What other positions can we look at? Is there any tight ends? Martellus Bennett, he's a good tight end. What tight end was drafted in front of him? Okay, Fred Davis, that's not even... Tight ends, nothing too crazy. John Carlson was drafted before Fred Davis and the other two. John Carlson's he's not been bad, but he hasn't had a crazy good career by any means. Dustin Keller was drafted ahead of them. Okay, what about tackles? What about, Chris Long? Chris Long, I don't think Chris Long is a bad player, honestly. St. Louis Rams, drafted 2nd. Did he deserve that 2nd overall pick? I don't know. I don't know if they'll go back and say he did, but he's had a good career. Chris Long is a good player. I'm not even going to deny that. What else? Who else can we find among this draft class? That's pretty much all I see, guys, for crazy butts. Let's scroll down to the bottom. Let's see who was the best Pro Bowler drafted the latest in here. It appears it is Justin Forsett, drafted 233rd by the Seattle Seahawks. So there is our last draft. Also, Carl Nix was drafted in the 5th round. And who was drafted in front of him? The guy drafted in front of him was, the O-lineman drafted in front of Carl Nix was Bruno Giacomo. Who the hell is that? That's all I have to say. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like. As you will see, I don't end up winning this game. I was so mad, but I gave this guy a deal. It was a 20K wager. I said you can either have the 20K or I'll give you a shout out. So make sure you go check out these guys. Check this guy out. His channel is pretty good. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys all next time.